By you even putting yourself in this position to watch this video, to spend this time together with me here, right now, the chances are great that you're a goal-oriented person. You're looking for ways to use your talents and resources to the fullest, become all that you can be, to live up your potential, to have all the best options in life, reach all your goals in life, right? You're looking for ways to reach those goals in life. And today I want to talk about those goals, why we have them, and set you up in this game of life so that you can reach those goals to be happy, that you believe will make you happy, and you allow yourself, you set up ways for you to be happy every single day on your way towards achieving those big ambitious goals that you have. You don't have to wait until you achieve that goal to be happy. You can be happy every single day. And at the same time, what you don't want to do is to fill your day up with a whole bunch of things that make you happy now, because you're checking them off and doing them, but they don't get you closer to these big goals and dreams that you say that you want. So you're happy every single day, but in the long term, why don't I have this long-term happiness? Why aren't I achieving these goals that I say are going to make me happy? So what I want to do in our time together is give you a 5-step process so you can set and work towards big goals, big ambitious goals that will make you happy. And every step along the way, even long before you actually achieve that big ambitious goal that'll make you happy, you can be happy every single day. And you know it and you feel it. Happy long term, happy in the short term. Not wait to be happy when you reach the goal, but also not be happy and never reach the goal because you're too happy right now. Right? By listening to what I have to say, doing your best to absorb it, coming into this time that we spend together with the anticipation that I may not get this now, but it's going to marinate. I've taken this time, I've invested in this time, I'm going to leave my mind to be like an open canvas. I'm going to absorb this material, and even if I don't get it right now, in some way, shape, or form, it's going to help me live that life. What he's talking about, happy in the long term by achieving these magnificent goals, and I'll be happy every step along the way and not wait until I achieve this. I want some of that, and this time that I spend together, when I immerse myself fully and I absorb what he has to say, even if it doesn't make so much sense now, it will. A day from now, a week from now, a month from now, a year from now. I don't know when, I don't know how. You live with the anticipation that it's going to have that breakthrough for you. You're going to get a lot out of the time we spend together. And you're going to not only reach those goals, you're going to happily reach those goals sooner rather than later in life. You're going to be able to live up to your full potential and use all that talent that you know you have to create a magnificent life for yourself and for the people you love. Or you can have invested this time here you are here with me, and just, oh, I know what he's going to say. He said something like this before. It's kind of the same thing. I heard somebody else say this, and you just kind of go through the motions. There could be one small distinction that I say in a totally different way that it makes so much sense to you. But you squandered. You squandered this opportunity, and who knows, maybe you'll just save this video, you'll have access to it a month from now or a year from now. And then you come back to it and you go, I didn't hear that the first time. And then that's a month or a year that you could have been on your way taking your life to higher and higher levels, but you squandered it because you just didn't get yourself fully engaged. Squandered time, you squander opportunities, talent, resources. You put unnecessary pain on yourself. You put your family, the people you love, under unnecessary pain because you showed up but you weren't fully present. Looking for that distinction. You don't want to do that. Think about that. Isn't that everybody's goal? It's to live every single day with passion, every single minute of the day with passion. But there are a lot of people who convince themselves they're happy. They may be genuinely happy with their job, with their relationship, with their settings, and you know that they're genuinely happy, right? It's just that they're going to wake up and, let's hope the best for everybody. But you don't want to wake up like a year from now or 3 years from now and say, why was I happy? Why was I happy? I convinced myself to be happy with the day-to-day grind, the day-to-day systems that I set up. And now I've wasted that time. I spent a lot of work. I spent a lot of time. I checked off a lot of boxes. But, now I got to change things. I got to put things in gear because that didn't lead to my long-term happiness. It took away my appetite to ask for more of myself because I was happy in the moment. You don't want that either, right? So we don't want to wait to be happy until we have a big house, the big car, the magnificent relationship, or whatever, all the money. We don't want to wait until then, and you don't have to wait until then. And at the same time, we don't want to be happy with stuff and activity and movement that we can do it all day long. We can be happy that we're doing it all day long, all week long, all month long, but it's not getting us closer. And there's going to be a day where we wake up and we wish we would have had a different attitude about how we approached our day if we realized it wasn't getting us closer. We would have hoped that we looked at it differently and maybe gave up some of that short-term happiness and satisfaction and found a way maybe to be happy in the short term and be working towards the long term. And that's what I want to do for you here today. I'm going to give you a 5-step process to create that type of life where everything you do is leading towards a long-term goal of happiness, and at the same time you reverse engineer what it's going to take to get there. So every single day, you're not waiting until then. Every single day you're living with passion and excitement and happy, whether you're winning or losing, whether you set up a day and you do everything that you said or you didn't. It doesn't matter, because win or lose or somewhere in between in the game of life that you're playing, you're happy playing that game because that's how you set up your life. Now, do I believe that in one video session, you'll, right at the end of it, go, awesome. All right, now I know exactly what to do. I can immediately apply it. Starting tomorrow morning, I'm going to live every single day with total passion and happiness in the long term and in the short term because I watched a video the day before. Wouldn't that be great? How much would that video cost, you think? What could I charge for that? $100,000 for the video, right? I don't necessarily expect that is going to happen by you watching this video here today. I do believe that, one, it'll set up a new target for you to shoot for. You have it more clearly defined what you're actually going for in life, and when you ask yourself that question, how can I get there? How can I get there? It's just a matter of time before you find a way to get there. Again, it may take a week, it may take a month, it may take 3 years. But even though it took 3 years, you were never going to get there unless you started asking yourself to find ways to hit that bullseye, that goal, long-term happiness, and then day-to-day happiness with your goals. You never would have got there, right? So, and that's one thing. It's going to start a process. The other thing, you might understand a lot more about yourself, what actually makes you happy versus what you intellectually think makes you happy, what drives you. And at the same time, which is really important because the people in our lives are so important, you'll find distinctions and strategies and maybe a level of awareness that you understand the people around you, what makes them tick, what makes them happy, what gets them afraid, the compromises that they're making in life, maybe things that they don't even realize. It'll help you understand and have empathy for other people. And if you coach other people, it can help them make certain distinctions in their life so they can really become happy. If you coach people for a living, you can understand how, maybe their long-term goals, they're not ever going to achieve them because the day-to-day they're not happy. Or you might realize for them that maybe the day-to-day things that make them happy are really never, ever, ever going to lead to those things that they say they want to make happy. So we can learn for ourselves. We can understand for our coaches, the people we coach, our clients, also people we love. It can start a level of understanding that is really going to make life happy for ourselves and for the people we have the privilege to have in our lives. So my experiences that brought me to the point where I can give you this 5-step process for something that is so ambitious that everybody wants in life once they identify it and can convince themselves that they can have it. I mean, it's something that everybody wants. What got me to this point was my own personal experiences, how I was working towards happiness in life, all the things that I did well, all the things that I didn't do well. Also, all the input, all the lessons that I have learned from the great coaches and peak performance and the people who went ahead of me and changing people's lives, their effect on me. And what really brought it home for me is I work so intimately with my private one-on-one coaching sessions. The intensity of working with people who are just like you has brought such a level of understanding that I can apply to myself and really help other people get to this level of understanding a lot sooner than they would have been able to do so without being exposed to these things that I have to share with you here today. So my background was fitness, and I have these beliefs that a lot of us, we have certain great things about us, we have our challenges in life, and that brings people who are alike together. And sometimes we like to separate ourselves like we're special and different amongst our group of people we spend our time with, hobbies, passions. I tend to think that we get drawn together because we're a lot more alike. And one thing about me is the whole fitness. What I loved about fitness, when I really think about it, especially as I get removed from the intense, ultra-focused competitor who achieves so much success, there are so many things that I got out of it. One thing that I didn't realize how important it was to me, it created certainty in my world. It created structure, structure that was dependent on me. And so I created these days that were filled up with structure all throughout the day. And so when I woke up, when I went to bed, every meal that I were to eat, what time, what it even consisted of, what time I went to the gym, right? I had high standards to live with this certain lifestyle, to have the best body that I could have, to be a winning competitor. And it felt really good. Even when I think about it now, how I was so disciplined, I was so focused, that I was so ambitious and driven to create this checklist that if I did, I would be the best competitor in the world, and I would win all these contests and all those things, and everything that I said it would bring me later on in life. But the truth of the matter was, I don't know how long term I was thinking. So I was very, very successful at being disciplined and checking off and executing all the standards that I had for myself on a daily basis. That made me really happy. And the result of it, it made me successful, which made me happy. Then it connected me with people who are just like you, who respected what I was able to achieve because they wanted to achieve that too. I was able to not only be someone who inspired other people, I was also someone who could earn a living by teaching them the mindset on how to do these day-to-day disciplines to lead to this goal. Now, as I'm removed from it, I really understand now at a deeper level how that made me happy. Every single day was passionate and happy and driven. It was a game. It was a game to be played, and it was a game that many times I won, and it made me happy. What I realize now is, stepping back in time, that I was compromising my long-term goals and dreams to make me happy. We only set goals. We only do everything we do to make us happy, and many times it's to avoid the opposite, the pain, right? I realized the things that I said that I wanted that would make me happy, like family, wealth, the big house, the big car, money for security, and all those type of things. I would intellectually say that would make me happy. The truth of the matter is, no matter what I try to convince myself, the day-to-day things that I was doing that made me happy in the day-to-day were not getting me closer to those big goals and those big dreams that I said that I wanted. They weren't doing it. Sometimes I would convince us, well, you got to win the trophy, and if you do this, you do that, then it's going to lead to all this. The truth of the matter was, it really wasn't. There were probably a million more efficient ways, but what I was doing was making me so happy in the short term. One thing that, as you go for your goals in life, you have to really evaluate if what you're doing is going to help you reach your long-term goals for happiness. And I see this a lot of times with fitness people. Maybe you're a fitness person, maybe you deal with people who are fitness people, but it also is in other types of people who want structure and template set up. I deal with a lot of people who have advanced degrees. They're 35 years old and they're getting another master's degree. And at the same time, they don't have a family, and they want a family. They don't have wealth, and they say they want that. And sometimes, going to school and doing the template, they're just like me, just like with a bodybuilder. They're getting that happiness on the day-to-day, but it's really not leading them to those things that they say that they want. They're too satisfied with short-term happiness. You don't want that. You don't want that. You don't want to wake up and realize all that hard work that you've done, all that execution that you planned for yourself, that's not getting you towards long-term happiness. You don't want to find that out later. Many times people realize that, but they don't know how to change. I deal with that all the time with my one-on-one coaching. They've been doing it so long, this makes them happy. They don't know how to give it up to get what they want, and they can't figure out why all this activity did not make them happy in the long term while it's making them so happy in the short term. Again, you don't want that. Now at the same time, this usually isn't the people who are drawn to me. They're usually in the type of people who I just talked about. But there are people in this world that are so driven towards massive success, this big goal, making money, cars, house, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's this big, grand goal that it's magnificent. And they really believe that they want it, and they really believe when they get it, it's going to make them so happy. The challenge is they don't allow themselves to be happy until they achieve that goal. That goal could take 3 years or 5 years or 10 years or more, and every single day is a grind. It's a challenge. They are not winning the game every single day. Life is okay. It's not terrible, but it isn't great. It isn't as great as when they envision that big goal. Oh, wow, life is going to be so wonderful. I'm so happy. There is a way to do that and be happy if that's the way it turns out, but also be happy in the short term. You don't want to postpone day-to-day happiness for a long-term goal. That's when people say, is this all there is? I did all that sacrifice. I didn't live happily in the moment. The only thing that got me through the moment was thinking that this goal was going to make me so happy. Now I'm here, and it's okay, but it didn't make me that happy. So you want to have that sweet, amazing goal that gives you that long-term happiness, and really it drives you to create things that you do every single day, that when you do them, you're happy every single day. That's the bullseye. That's what I want to stress upon you in this time that we spend together, is to how to create a bullseye, a target. How can you ask yourself, how can I live a life with a goal that I call a sweet spot goal that is so amazing that every time I think about it, I want to be so effective and efficient with my time and energy that I want to achieve that long-term sweet spot goal. And if I were to do these things every single day, I'm getting closer. I'm excited. And I'm doing them and I'm happy every single day along the way. And what you're doing that makes you so happy, you are sure the two tie in, that it actually is going to make you happy, or your best guess that it'll make you happy. Long-term happiness, day-to-day happiness, you're living a happy, passionate life. That's what I want to talk about, and that's what I want to give you, a 5-step process to start yourself on that way to create that type of life. So let's talk about this 5-step process that's going to give you long-term happiness and day-to-day happiness, so you live this total life of happiness and fulfillment, looking forward to this big, gigantic goal that gets you to do all these things every single day, that when you do them, you know they're going to lead you there. Long-term happiness, short-term happiness, long-term passion, short-term day-to-day passion, right? Here are the 5 steps. It first starts with the goal, the big, huge goal, what I call the sweet spot goal. And that goal has to be so exciting, so juicy. And also it has to be believable to you that you can do it, right? It's got to hit that sweet spot because it's got to drive you where as you go through your day, you're going, is what I'm doing right here and right now? I mean, really, in this moment, is it getting me to my sweet spot goal? And if not, what changes do I have to make? When you think about your day-to-day actions, your minute-to-minute actions, and in the back of your mind, you're evaluating if it's getting you to that sweet spot goal, then that's the sweet spot goal, right? If you think about it every couple months, there's something off. Now, here are the things that can be off by not having this very critical part of this 5-step process. It's the foundation to all of it, and it's creating that sweet spot goal, right? Many times we make these goals, and I'm guilty of this too. I want the big house, the big car, all these magnificent things, travel, everything I could see in a magazine or watch a TV show, all these exotic places, I want that, right? But that's about as much emotion. Sure, I want it, but I'm not really connected to it. It's like too big for me at that time. Now, should it be too big? Well, I'm making it too big, and so I might as well not even say it. If you don't think about your big sweet spot goal every single day, there's some disconnect. And it could be one of two ways. Many times people do have these big grand goals that would qualify for a sweet spot goal. They just don't really believe that they can achieve it, not at this point in time. And I'd like to say it's just a hair, it's just a millimeter, just a fraction too ambitious where your brain clicks off. Oh, who am I kidding? I'm not going to be able to do that. The goal is too big, at least for you at that time. It's not hitting the sweet spot. It overshot the sweet spot, right? You have to believe it. And here's the other thing, that goal has to be so exciting, not just believable, but so exciting, it taxes you every single day to use all your mental and emotional resources, your time, your energy, the resources. You're looking for opportunities of people who can help you along the way. How can I squeeze out one more hour in my day, one more level of efficiency in my day? And like I'll talk about, how can I use my best time of the day at the right time and maximize it? It gets that specific because you really believe in it, right? Sometimes we have goals, oh, I want this and this. And to us, because everybody's individual, it's not exciting enough. Oh yeah, I can do it. It's got to hit that sweet spot. Not too ambitious, but ambitious enough where you think about it all the time. Now you might be thinking, hey, that sounds great. How do I find that? Hey, where can I get a coaching session with you, Skip? K, can we figure that out in one of those 45-minute sessions that you have? I really wish it was that easy. And if I could have a gift to give everybody, because I know how important the foundation towards happiness in the long term and the short term excitement, I know how it's so dependent on finding that sweet spot goal for you. I wish I could do that. How much would that session be worth? $100,000, right? So I will tell you this, that first of all, you have to understand it's important and then ask yourself the questions. It might take you a week. It might take you a month. It may take you 2 years, but I'll tell you, that's 2 years that afterwards, when you find it, your level of excitement, passion, efficiency just goes up to the next level. It's worth the 2 years until you find it. So this, if anything, is going to start the process, get you one day closer to finding that sweet spot goal. For me, I've always been an ambitious guy. I've been driven. I've set goals that were too big, out of the sweet spot, before I called it a sweet spot. And I've created a lot of goals that were nice, that weren't driving enough. They were low. They were too short of that sweet spot, right? But I was driven. I accomplished things. I didn't accomplish things in the manner that I'm doing it now, though. With this much excitement, this much passion, this playing the game, win or lose. This way, I'm constantly evaluating, assessing, because I found that sweet spot. I have a name for it. And this name means something to me. It's 1,000 for 1,000. So I ask myself every single day to reach my sweet spot goal. I know what it's going to get me, what it's going to do for myself, my family, for you, my legacy, right? It's so clear to me, it's so juicy, and it's so believable. To make that happen, to be the 1,000 for 1,000 man, I got to step up my game every single day, right? Just thinking about it. thinking about it pushes me through the hard times. It makes me, even when I'm doing something, I don't just check off the box to do it. Is there a higher level? Because in the back of my mind, if not in the front of my mind, at some level, that sweet spot goal that I stumbled into is driving my whole essence, my whole being, my whole identity every single day. Right? So that is an explanation of step one. It's finding that sweet spot. Right? So you're going to need to think about that and give yourself patience. Right? Like I said, I've always been a driven guy. It wasn't until too recently. I wish I could have figured this out a long time ago. That's why I'm so passionate about sharing this information. Man, if I thought I was a productive, goal-oriented, hard worker before, man, finding the sweet spot, it just takes you to an incredibly higher level. So step number one is to find that sweet spot. So step number two of this 5-step process to create happiness, achieve those really ambitious sweet spot goals in life, and live with passion and happiness every single day, whether it's a good day or a bad day, of every single day in between, because you know that this game, this challenge that you're going through every day, it's going to get you to that sweet spot goal, right? Is to figure out, reverse engineer. What do you have to do every single day that's really going to get you to that sweet spot goal, right? We just don't want to do things that make us feel good and check, 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 check. Like I kind of realized with the whole bodybuilding, you know, short term it was make me happy. Short term I was busy, I was effective, I was efficient. People even admired me. I know a lot of people with their educations feel that same way. But it wasn't as connected, if at all, to my long-term goals as I thought. And so although I was happy in the short term, I compromised my long term, right? So you want to, and again, I emphasize this, it's a guess. We don't know with our first shot. Wouldn't that be great? Oh, here's my sweet spot. This is what I need to do every single day. Boom, boom, boom. I'll just do it. Mission accomplished. Well, it would be great if life worked out that way. We don't know. We have to make an educated guess of what we need to do. And how will we know if we're getting closer? If these 22 things, so to speak, that we create every single day to do, our measurement, if we're doing what it takes to reach our sweet spot goal? Well, we have to go 22 for 22 for a long enough period of time to evaluate if we guessed right. We don't know. We can't say, oh, those 22 things that I set out, if I did to win the game every single day is going to help me not only win the short-term game, but the long-term game. And I use that word game for a reason, because it's not a grind. It's not, the day-to-day toils. It's a game. It's a challenge. It's a winnable game, right? You can't just theoretically say the 22 will or the 22 won't, and so I need to change them around until you actually execute them. You follow through, right? So you need to, step number two is you need to create a plan of what you believe that if you do every single day, it will get you to that sweet spot goal. Step number three in this 5-step process to create absolute happiness and fulfillment by achieving our big goals in life and at the same time live every single day with passion and happiness because we know we're really on our way. Step number three is to monitor, assess, evaluate, review your actions every single day, every single week, every single month to see if the 22 things, so to speak, that you came up with, that you guessed, if they're actually not just feeling good, right? Are they really taking you to that big goal? Because again, we don't want to just feel good. I did 22 things today and it not getting us closer. We have to assess, monitor, evaluate, right? And this is what I do. This is what got me to this level of excitement where I'm so eager to share this with you, that I want you to have some of what I have, because not only do I believe that I'm going to be the 1,000 for 1,000 guy, right? I believe what I'm doing every single day in some way, shape, or form is going to get me there, and I'm living every single day with excitement. I do not have to wait until I actually am the 1,000 for 1,000 guy. I'm working towards there, but I'm excited every single day, right? Because I review my days at the end of every day, and I'm asking myself all throughout the day, is this what 1,000 for 1,000 man would do? Would he do it better? Would he try one more time? And then I assess if I was that 1,000, 4,000 man, that big giant sweet spot goal. If I got closer or further away, what can I do to improve it? At the end of every single day, I ask myself, what was great? What wasn't perfect yet? And how can I make this process more enjoyable? And that's all in the context of it's going to lead me to the sweet spot goal to become that 1,000, 4,000 man. It isn't like, well, I did better than most, look at my body. I had a good workout, my body's better than anybody else in my age group. That is not the standard that I review my day and assess my day. I'm assessing and monitoring my day. I'm asking myself, what was great about today? What wasn't perfect yet? And what can I do to make it enjoyable? It's all in the context if it's going to help me reach my sweet spot goal. How do I become the 1,000 for 1,000 man? It's not me compared to, some other person, right? That's how I filter it. That's how I evaluate it based on that standard. And again, whether I have a great day, all those 22 things, I checked them all off, or I only did 10, I am engaged, I'm immersed, I'm excited with the journey because what I'm doing, whether I win, I fail, or somewhere in between, it's a game. It's a game that's getting me closer. I got myself to believe that if I do these 22 things every single day, I'm happy. And even I'm happy that I'm on this adventure even if I don't do well. So step number 3 is to monitor, assess, and evaluate. I review my days. I review my weeks. I review my months. I do that with my wife at the end of every month, right? I review my weeks every Sunday morning. And I review my day before I wrap up every single day. Now, I created that in one of the 22 things so I can signal to myself, yeah, you did it. Those are some of the things that you did, and you're doing them, so you're well on your way to become the 1,000 for 1,000 man, that sweet spot goal. And this is a tangible way. You should be excited. Or if you didn't do it, you got to do that. But there's a check and measure to give myself a real signal whether to be happy or not. Right? It's just not some feeling. It's all leading towards something. So step number 3 is you need to assess, monitor, evaluate, review those daily things that you set up to make sure they're leading you to the big sweet spot goal, right? And that's what there's some tangible checkoff sheet where you can measure. So you can say, I am happy every single day, every single minute of the day, right? Now, step number 4, right? So we created the sweet spot goal, then we created a day and we made guesses on what we need to do every single day to really make that happen. And then we review, we assess, we monitor if we're doing those things, because again, there's no use of creating 22 things if they're not getting us closer to the goals, or if we're so miserable in the process, right? We have to assess and monitor, right? And then step number 4 is to make the necessary adjustments. Again, who cares if you went 22 for 22? I could create a list to be totally fit, right? I eat this way, and this is a real life example. I would eat this way, I would train this way, it would help me win a bodybuilding contest. And at the same time, was that getting me closer? Now, everything can eventually lead you closer, but if I really thought about it, the way that I'm doing it, I'm not saying you have to exclude anything from your 22 things, but you need to ask yourself, is that really leading you to a sweet spot goal? Do you even have a sweet spot goal? Are you making the decisions of your daily disciplines, these things that you're doing every single day, are they really based on feeling good in the moment? Many fitness people, it's safety, it's security, it's structure, it's predictability. Sometimes because we've never had it in our life, we love that. We don't want things to be dependent on other people as much as we might think it's okay that we do. We want things predictable. And that's really a short-term satisfaction. So you create this list, you do it all the time, you're feeling good. But you're not going to feel good in the long term. Right? So we don't want to do things that way, and we make adjustments along the way. We can do things that feel great that aren't getting us to our big sweet spot goal. And again, we can do things that we think will get us to our sweet spot goal. right? If I did these 22 things, and we never do any of them. They're too hard, they're too ambitious. We only do 10 out of the 22, so every single day along the way, we lose every single day. We certainly can't be happy along the way, even if we do eventually. Here's the interesting thing is the 22 things that you came up with, that's just a guess. Sometimes, if you think about it, that you only went 10 for 22 every single day along the way. But those 10 could be the things that really matter and get you to your big long-term goal. But because you set it up in the way you did, you felt you lost. You only went 10 for 22 every single day, even though you were getting closer to your goal. That's why it's so important to assess and monitor and make adjustments. In that case, instead of thinking you're losing every single day because you only went 10 for 22, you might knock it down to those 10 plus 2 more. Strive for more. Always, ask yourself for more. And then you still are indeed, because you evaluate it, getting closer to the big sweet spot goal. And at the same time, you feel great every single day because of the way you're looking at it, how you set it up. All right? So step number 4 is we need to make those adjustments along the way, because the day that we set up that we believe will lead us to the short-term happiness and long-term happiness, it's just a guess. And then step 5. Step 5 is we need to really become sensory acute to our body. I know that by me sharing this with you, by you watching me, hearing my voice, and seeing my excitement, I actually feel, we'll see if it actually happens. But I'll tell you that I don't have to wait to be excited and be happy to see if I should be happy, because I've got myself to believe, and I monitor and assess, is that what I do every single day, whether I get up at 2 o'clock in the morning or I want to stretch it a little bit more. What if I got up at 1 o'clock in the morning? That's 1 hour every single day. That my sweet spot, because I'm a morning person. I'm constantly looking for ways to be happy and excited in the moment. Every single day I live with passion. Now, I could be wrong. I built upon an ambitious goal of, instead of getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning and saying, I'm going to maximize my sweet spot because I'm a morning guy. What if I got up at 1 o'clock? Well, I found out three days later that I messed up my sweet spot, my genius zone time of where I'm the most creative, because that 1 hour, what it took away, it threw it all off. So I quote unquote lost. But it's a game, man. Every single moment I'm living with passion, because I know when I tweak this and monitor it, that I'm happy in the process day to day. And I know that it's going to help me reach my sweet spot goal, help me become that 1,000 for 1,000 person. And that's what you have to monitor. Step number 5 is monitor. Are you feeling it in your body? It's not an intellectual process, because if it's not juicing you, it's not exciting you, then something is off in your sweet spot goal. It may be past the point where your brain turned off. It's too ambitious for you at this time, or it's not ambitious enough, so the whole foundation to this 5-step process is now thrown off. Or how you set up in the day-to-day. You might have created 22 things that, even though you do them all, you know at some level it's not getting you any closer. It's just making you feel good in the short term. Or you set up 22 things and you're only doing 10 of them day in and day out, and even though you're making progress, you don't feel happy in the moment. That's not right either. Right? We have to be acute to our body. We can't just lock in and make things black or white. A lot of people who want systems all set up, they make the world black and white, and we don't live in a black and white world. Now, you can get yourself to believe it's either black or white, and that can give you certainty, but the real results, if you're right, isn't by you just deciding this is the way the world works. The real measure is if it's getting you the results you want and you're happy along the way. So we can come up with a set of standards. This is my sweet spot. This is what I need to do every single day. I will do these things and assess and monitor it. I'll make adjustments. But the bottom line is it either juices you and excites you and you have this level of excitement, or you don't. If you don't have it, then you're not going to be living with the full passion and happiness to achieve those long-term goals and feel so happy and passionate in the moment. So step number 5 is you got to be sensory acute, that it really is charging you, because this is what makes all the 4 steps before it work. Step number 5 is be sensory acute to see if your system worked. If not, you got to make adjustments along the way. So a quick review of the 5-step process so you can be happy and fulfilled working towards your long-term sweet spot, ambitious goals, and not or. Everything you do every single day makes you so happy and excited that you're happy every step along the way, and you don't have to wait until you achieve that magnificent sweet spot goal to be happy. You're happy every single day, and you don't compromise short-term happiness doing all these things that make you happy now but are really keeping you away from that long-term happiness. It doesn't have to be either or. It can be an and when you follow this 5-step process and you get yourself on the journey to figuring out how this works for you under your conditions, with your life wants, needs, desires, your fears, your biggest joys in life, your biggest challenges that you face, when you figure it out for you by going on this journey to figure out this for you, you're just going to be living every single day with excitement. All right, so the 5-step process is number 1, figure out what your sweet spot goal is. What is it that drives you so much that it just gets you thinking about everything you do every single day? It's so darn exciting, but not so grand that you really don't think you can do it. And it's grand enough that it gets you to think about it every single day. Step number 2 is, all right, let's reverse engineer. Let's come up with our first guess estimate of what you need to do every single day that is actually going to lead you to that sweet spot, big, huge goal. All right, step number 3 is you need to review, assess, monitor every single day. I suggest that you review your day, you review your week, and you review your month, and it's all in the context of, did it get me closer to my big sweet spot goal? What was great about today that led me a little bit closer, if not a lot closer, to my sweet spot goal? What wasn't perfect about today that didn't get me to where I want to go with my big sweet spot goal? And then how can this day, how can I make it more enjoyable so everything that I'm doing that's on the way to my sweet spot goal will be more fun and exciting? That's how you assess your day. That's how you review your day every single day. That's how you review your weeks, and that's how you review your month. All right? Step number 4 is, okay, with all this information and questions that you're asking, and you're going to make adjustments along the way, understanding that the day-to-day 22 things, so to speak, that you set up was just a guess. You assess and monitor. Now make the necessary adjustments. All right, make the necessary adjustments and say, hey, look, I can do these 22 things all day long. It's not going to, and I can feel good about it. It's not going to lead me to the big goal. Or, you know what? I only get 10. Why am I feeling so down? I'm getting closer to it. Make the adjustments that you need to make along the way. And step number 5 is feel it. Feel it in your body. Do you have the real emotional pull? If you were to give this to one of your family members, or if you were to look in the mirror and give this lesson to yourself, or the people you have the privilege to have in your life, maybe you coach people, right? Would you have this level of excitement in your body, and not because you're giving them a lesson or you're telling yourself something you need to know, because you really feel it in your body, because that is the real measure if you're on the right track. And if you're not on the right track, then, it's okay. Just make adjustments. We have to know what we're shooting for. And what I am hoping for in this time that we spend together, that we at least started the process. You're one step closer, one day closer to living with passion in the long term, because those goals are so sweet, and you live every single day with passion and excitement. You're happy every single day because you believe that what you're doing in this game that you're going through, win, lose, or something in between, is getting you there, right? I want you to send me an email. I want you to send me an email at skip@fitnesscenteredlifecoach.com. And I want you to tell me, hey, I really got that. I'm not there yet. Man, you seem kind of excited. But I know there's something in this for me. I'm not sure if I got it all. Or I got it. I got it and I'm excited. It's going to happen for me. Or it didn't connect with me. It really doesn't matter when I give you this follow-up assignment to take action, it doesn't matter. It's not about me or what type of feedback that I want. What I'm doing is conditioning you to tell yourself, I invest time to become the best that I can be, and I take action on it immediately. I don't just collect information. I do something in some way, shape, or form immediately to signal to myself that I'm a person who takes action. I'm not a person who just takes in more and more information and doesn't do anything to do with it. So you sending me that email, it's just boom, taking action immediately.